So I want to do a little clean up on the coil. So I want to collect some fuel. Mind you, you can use fuel to wash and clean your coil. Sometimes dirty lags or jam packs on the face of the coil, and it makes it, when the armature and the coil is working, it will be rubbing. Sometimes the dirty on the coil can even affect the armature, that it will not be contacting current well or moving fast as it should. So when you see that a coil is that inner dirty, you can use fuel to clean it up and put it to dry. You don't just pour fuel, wash it and just put it back in the engine. It will cause damage, because I've never done it. So anything you wash, at least you should take your time to allow it to dry off. So that is just that thing about cleaning and washing your coil and your armature. So I've taken fuel from the tank. Okay, I'm still taking the fuel. I thought I finished. So this is how you draw your fuel. You place your tank up and you lower the hose down, so that the fuel coming from the upper side can be able to come down. So that's how you draw fuel. And then you just drag it fast and remove your mouth. Otherwise, you will drink a lot of fuel. So I've succeeded in dragging fuel from the tank. So let me pull the tank away first. So this is how you use fuel to clean your armature that has sand or dust packed inside the surface. So you use brush and fuel and brush it. You can see what I'm doing. So when you clean it, the face will be more sharp to contact electric wave from the armature. Yes, I've turned it to clean the other face of it. So that's how you clean your coil. After doing that, you allow it to dry off. So I've discovered some dirty that brush cannot remove. So I'm scratching off the dirty. And when doing this, now I'm using a sharp object cutter. I know it's a very sharp object, so don't use the front that cuts iron that cut things. Use the back that is smooth. And mind you, where you are scratching or removing dirty, you know that the wire, either the aluminium wire or copper wire, that is very delicate. So if you went as far as scratching the wire of the coil, that means you are doing the wrong thing, because you will damage it. It will maybe cut off one of the wire, and when one of the wire is cut off, because it is being coated, so if you cut off one of the wire, the current cannot come. So you discover you have damaged it instead of doing it good. So you have to be mindful where you are putting that your sharp object, knife or cutter. So make sure you are scratching the iron vessel. Don't go and scratch the wire. Don't make any mistake of scratching the wire, otherwise you will lose the current in the coil. So as you can see, the coil is now neat. Wash off the dirty that can make it not to contact current. So let me put it on the sun to dry off the fuel. So now I want to pull out the armature. So I'm using 12-13 ring. So I'm just testing the armature sitting that I want to put, if it is still tight with the bearing. So I'm pulling the armature. Look at how I'm putting my hand. I'm using 12-13 ring. So you place it and you use your left hand and your thumb to hold the ring center, and use your hammer handle to hit it. Just exactly what I'm doing is what you do. Then you wind the armature right and turn the bolt out. So now this is just slacking it. Now I'm trying to pull it out. So I'm now hitting the rod which tightens the armature. So you use your head hammer, hit the head of the rod. Don't hit the bearing. Armature rod is what I hit, the one I loosed. So I'm checking the armature if it is neat. So I discover I have to brush it a little. Look where I'm brushing. I'm not brushing the wire. I'm brushing the iron lining. So you have to mind where you're brushing. This is where that interface with, look at how I put my hand for the cutter not to pass the limit that I'm scratching. So this surface, I want to make it more clean and sharp for the armature. That surface is contacting the coil surface, not to have any dirty that lag on it or hook, or making it stiff or hook. In most cases, or some case, if this armature has burnt off rubber, because rubber is being used in the insulating of the coil. You put rubber when placing the wires inside the coil. You use rubber to insulate it so that it will not hit the body of the iron directly. So sometimes, depending on the hotness of the engine, you discover that the rubbers in the coil is melting. So sometimes it melts and some of them flows to the armature. So that is where you get all those dirty and burnt on the body of that surface of this armature. So I'm trying to scratch it off so that to have it, to make the gem wind or work easily. So you can see how I'm using fuel to clean the armature. So it's very, very important. If your armature or coil is dirty, you make it look good. So I wanted to go and put it in the sun, but I brought it back to test the new armature sitting that I'll be using to know if it can fit in easily. Because this armature sitting, there was something I did there. I used 4 minutes gum to rub the face because I remove it from, it's a second-hand armature sitting, so it's not a new one. So it have worked before, so it have equally chopped or widened. So I now use 4 minutes gum to rub on the face. So what I'm doing now, I am using fuel because I am tracing where oil is dripping out from the engine. So I'm using fuel to wash off the oil that have scattered on the body of the engine, so that I will not know where the oil is coming out from, if it is the OEC or the center engine gasket. And for my work to equally be neat, so that after working, then I test my work to make sure that no any oil coming out, or so that I will not be confused. Because if you did not do a thorough job by cleaning the oil that is on the body already, you now went ahead and just say, okay, you have seen before that it is OEC or center gasket that it has the issue, and you now change the OEC or center gasket and you now start the engine. Some oil that has been on the body will still be dripping out, so you may be confused. The owner may be thinking that you have not done the job. So you have to be neat and thorough in your job by first cleaning the old oil on the body. So that is what I'm doing now. All this thing is the process of looking for fault of oil dripping from your engine. So that is to do a clean and a good job as a professional engineer. So that is how it is. So I'm clearing the surface of my table so that I will have more space. So a table is needed if you are a workman in the shop, except if you're at home, but I like working on the table. Some engineer work on the ground, so it will not make your work to be fast, or you too will not be neat. You will be dirty because you are working on the sand. So table is very important. As you can see me working the engine, I'm okay, looking neat. But if I'm working on the ground, sand and the rest of them, so I want to remove oil. Mind you, I want to open the engine cover. So if you open it because you want to change the center gasket and the OEC, the oil that is full in the engine will throw away. So yeah, you don't have to forget to remove the oil. So you have to remove the oil. So that's what I'm doing now. So these are the process of changing the oil seal in your engine and center gasket. So I've removed the oil. So it's time to continue with the work that I'm doing. So I'm cleaning my hand to make it more neat. So that is part of this job. Some engineer will work and discover so it's time to pull off the so I'm using my 12 socket and the socket handle. So I've attached all the whole socket on the handle to get to the distance I'm looking for. So you can see how I'm hitting my hand on the socket handle to pull the boot. So this is how it's been done. So doing this, that hitting may be paining you a little, but if you can't do it, you can use a hammer. Then the hammer, where you hold the hammer, the handle, you then use it to be hitting what I'm hitting now with my hand. If you feel that it is giving you pain, maybe your hand, you are feeling pain before, instead of adding more pain, you use your hammer handle to hit what I'm doing now, instead of giving yourself more pain to your hand. So everybody is doing the one effect is easy, or so I have slack or the 6 bolt. The bolt is 6, so you make sure that the bolt is complete 6, then you tight back 6. When tighten it, you don't have to lose 5. If it's 5, you look for bolt to complete it. Maybe it's even from the shortage of bolt that make oil to be leaking or dripping from the engine, that is engine gasket. So you have to be sure that the bolt is complete. So that is one thing about the job. So now I've removed the cover that covers the engine. So I want to pull out the OEC. So that is how it's being pulled. A bearing supposed to be at the front, but the bearing fell out. So later put the bearing. So I have pulled out the OEC. So it's time to clean it with okay, I didn't do that again. So okay, I'm now cleaning the surface so that I can be able to see a clear view of the sitting of the OEC. So I'm checking it to know, because there was 4 minutes gun attached to it. So I want to scratch off that surface to make sure that the new OEC I'm going to put is not going to have a hanging issue. So I'm using that my cutter, the flat side, not where the teeth of the cutter is, to scratch off the trace of dried and stiff 4 minutes gum that bind the former one, so that when I put the new one, it will be able to lap easily and to be okay. So now this is the OEC of 300. So this OEC has a sitting. I have put it. So when putting OEC, you do it in this way. You use your hand to support it by pressing it. I hope you can see what I'm doing, but later we carry it and show you more. But what I did just now is to set the base before applying this hammer. I use my hand to balance it, so I have used hammer to hit it in. I'm hitting. When hitting, I will show you how I heated it. When hitting it, you hit the side, not the center. It have entered. So when hitting it, you hit the sides, not the center. I mean, you'll be very careful not to hit the center, so that you can't spoil it. So what I'm doing, I'm using this T. I'm trying to show you, because I discover you are not seeing it. Where I'm showing you the side that I hit with hammer to balance it. So now I want to use this T handle to hit the side again, to make it sure that both sides are even, meaning that nowhere is up and the other one is inside. Both of them must be even in balancing and in shape. By so doing, oil will not come out. So you have seen what I've done. So that is how you put your, you see, I'm still trying to adjust it very well. Don't hit it inside, because inside is where bearing is. If you hit it much inside, it will be, the bearing will be rotating and it will warn it. It will spoil on time. So it have to be flat with the surface of this side cover like I showed you before. So the oil seal will be lying on the same flat face. So that's how it is. So I'm using my fuel to clean the face so that when I'm putting my center gasket, it will be okay. So I'm just cleaning the trace. So when you are working, you need a working rag. You work and clean, work and clean. You don't have to make yourself to be muddy or dirty. I tested the bearing, if the bearing is okay, by shaking it. So when it is okay, it will not shake much, it will not make noise, just have a little gap weaved, but not baka baka baka. When it's doing baka baka baka, you know it's not okay. So that is just the way the work is being done. I brought 4 minutes gun. I want to attach 4 minutes gun to the OEC to help it so that it will not easily pull out or leak. So I'm mixing the 4 minutes gun. Just a little quantity of 4 minutes gun is what I am. So I am putting this 4 minutes gun at the same sides of the OEC. I'm not putting the 4 minutes gum on the center, but just at the side that binds the OEC and the cover. I will later show you, but now I'm just applying it. I'm the one doing it. My camera is stationary, it is hanged, so you can. So do you see what I'm doing? Just by the sides. So now I have taken the OEC and the side cover to the sun to join with the armature and the coil for the sun to help me to dry the 4 minutes gum on time. So now I want to go ahead to check if the center gasket is good or is bad. So I'm just cleaning the face to look at it very well to know whether it's the OEC that has the oil dripping problem or the center gasket. So you have to do a thorough cleaning to check the face of the center gasket if there is anywhere that it have caught or whatever. So in doing this, you have to be careful not to alter or shake the cam. The cam is inside there. This camera is a little bit far that I will show you the cam, but in the course of the work I may get to show you the cam or point it to you. So once you are only interested in changing the center gasket or the OEC, don't go about inside the engine and begin to shake the cam, because any move you make that warrant the cam to remove from the position, it will not give you another job on the hand, because it will not warrant that you will have to open the I'm cleaning the underneath now, because the coil and armature has been removed. So now I'm seeing more clearer view of the under. So let me still wipe and clean. So back to what I'm saying before, if you alter the cam, it will warrant you to go and loose the top and remove the plug so that you can be able to shift the bolt that goes to the cam. But I'm not doing that because I'm very careful. So when I'm doing that or working anything on cam, I will show you. So now this one I have dried, I put it on the sun. So 4 minutes gum, I've had it, so it's very strong now. So that is it. So that is it. So I'm now placing it on the engine. So when placing it, the cam is something to be noted. But why the way I now place this my side cover is this. I was looking at the hole on the right, the hole that the side cover will enter. So I was looking at the hole. I discovered the side cover and the engine is on the straight line with the hole. I now push it. So that was how it enter. So it now enter with cam and everything that is inside the engine. So that is how you put your engine cover. So I'm tightening it with my 12 socket handle. So that is how it is being done. So this is the main job that I wanted to do on this generator. So everything about oil, this is where it lies. This is where it lies. Everything about oil. So I'm screwing it. This tightening is not a final tightening. I am I've first guided the boat by putting it, but I'm now still doing more guiding to make it a little firm, but not total firm. So so you cannot just put one boat and tight it straight. You will guide all of them one by one. So by guiding all of them one by one, you are not getting what you are looking for. So that's how it is being done. My hand is even paining me. So those time I'm using to hit the boat to come out. Sometimes it enters into your hand or your veins, or the numerous work I've done before is part of my hand paining me. So when doing this, you have to be careful. You don't have to use all your strength, all your power, your energy to tighten it. So you have to do it in a way of carefulness. I discovered something that I forget to put the bearing that is on the side cover. So that is one thing about the work we are doing. Sometimes you forget something, but you have to be very careful not to be forgetting, because the time you will use to tighten and loose to go and put the thing back is also a time you can use and do a better thing. So I forgot the boat, but this is also commendable for me, that I have not gone far. I now remembered. It's also commendable that I know what I'm doing. There are some other people that can maybe couple and do everything before you now remember. So you have to be very sharp and very alert in your work. So I just tight and just remember. So I'm pulling out to put the bearing. So I forgot the bearing. So that is work for you. It's only God that knows everything. As a human being, at times you forget something. So you have to be quick and fast to remember. So the bearing has been fixed now. So let me put it by look the way I'm looking. I'm looking the hole where the boat normally comes out from. That cover of the dashboard is distracting, so I'm trying to push it so that it have now fit. So when putting it, like I said before, look the holes that you remove boat from. Once you see that the side cover with the hole is in the same straight line, then you push it, it will enter. Or you do some jack in front and back, it will enter. Sometimes if it did not enter well, then you drag the starter. You just do it a little dragging. You remove plug, then you do a little dragging of the starter, a little, not too fast. Then it will see that the cam will not fit in well. So now I'm touching it back. So that is what you get in it. So now the work is going to the final point of it. So that is it for you. So that is it. You wave it and wave your 12 socket handle that you attach on it, and you tighten it so far so good. So that is just the work for you. As you can see, the work of an engineer is a patient job. It's not a job that you are doing, you are flinting yourself, or you are anxious to go out, or you are thinking. So now that I'm tightening this boot, look at what I'm doing. I've guided it now. I am tighten it, locking it. You have to be very careful not to warn the bolt. This is where a major issue arises. So the hand that you see me place on the center of that my right hand, which I used to hold the center of the socket handle, is like a balancing. So I use it to study the strength or the degree that I will wind my hand. So the left hand, I'm just using it to support the right hand a little, but the major fault is on the right hand. That left hand is just a little support, because if I use a full force, I will want this boat and my work will be a waste. I will now decided to now go and to reboot it or whatever to get another trade line. So I have to be very careful. Now I fix my armature. So I'm now screwing it with hand. Then I'm going to use a 12-13 ring to guide it. So that's what I'm doing now. That is what I'm doing now. Yes, I'm guiding it now.